The end of fire and the birth of ash. In a world where fire once defined existence, where gods ruled from radiant thrones and where humanity was born from the shadows, the fire is now fading. This is not the beginning of a legend, this is the end of one. Welcome to Dark Souls 3. To understand Dark Souls 3, you must first understand one truth. The world is trapped in a cycle. Long before kingdoms, before humanity, before gods, the world was gray, silent, and eternal, until the first flame appeared. From the fire came disparity. Light and dark, life and death, heat and cold. From the darkness, humans were born. From the fire, gods rose. When the fire began to fade for the first time, the gods feared the dark. So Lord Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, sacrificed himself to link the fire. That act created a curse, a world doomed to endlessly repeat itself. Every time the fire fades, the undead curse spreads. Humans lose their purpose and their memories, and eventually, their souls. They become hollow. To prevent the Age of Dark, champions were chosen. Heroes who would sacrifice themselves to link the fire again. These champions became known as the Lords of Cinder. For countless ages, the cycle continued, until Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 takes place at the very end of the cycle. The fire has been linked too many times. The world itself is breaking. Time and space are collapsing. Kingdoms from different eras are being dragged together. Castles rise where they do not belong. Ruins overlap other ruins. This is a world held together by ash. And this time, something goes wrong. When the fire began to fade once more, the bell tolled. It called the Lords of Cinder back to their thrones. But they refused. The Abyss Watchers, consumed by endless war. Yorm the Giant, broken by guilt. Aldrich, a devourer of gods. Prince Lothric, who rejected destiny itself. They abandoned their duty, and so the fire could no longer be linked. When the lords refused, the world turned to a final and desperate measure. It awakened those who had failed to link the fire in the past, not heroes, not lords, but ash. You are one of them, an unkindled ash, unworthy of becoming a Lord of Cinder, yet summoned because there is no one else left. Your purpose is simple: return the lords to their thrones by force if necessary. You awaken in the cemetery of ash, surrounded by graves of warriors who came before you and failed. The world does not welcome you. It tests you. Standing in your path is Udex Gundyr, the Judge of Ash. He is not evil. He is a gate, a reminder that in Dark Souls, existence itself is a trial. This is only the beginning. A dying world, lords who abandoned their duty, an unworthy champion walking through the ashes of history. Beyond the cemetery of ash, beyond the judgment of Gundyr, there lies a place untouched by time. A place where the world waits. This is Firelink Shrine. Firelink Shrine is not a sanctuary. It is a crossroads of fate, a place that exists outside kingdoms, outside eras, outside logic itself. Here the fire still burns faintly, as if remembering what it once was. This shrine has existed across many ages, rebuilt again and again, each time closer to collapse. Now it stands in silence, waiting for you. At the heart of the shrine stands the Firekeeper. She has no eyes, because she does not need them. She sees the world through souls, through flame, through endings. Her role is eternal, to tend the fire, to guide champions, to watch them either succeed or fail. She knows what you are, an unkindled ash, and still she places her faith in you. Before you stand 5 thrones, once occupied by the Lords of Cinder, now they are empty. Each throne represents a soul powerful enough to link the fire, but these lords abandon their duty, not out of weakness, but out of despair, madness, or defiance. Their absence is why the world is collapsing, and until they return, the fire will continue to fade. One throne is not empty. Seated upon it is Ludleth of Corland, a Lord of Cinder who answered the call, small, broken, burned. He linked the fire willingly and paid the price. Ludleth understands suffering better than anyone, and he knows something terrifying. Linking the fire no longer saves the world, it only delays the inevitable. Within Firelink Shrine, souls are currency. Power is bought with death. The Shrine Handmaid does not judge this. She has seen countless champions pass through these halls. Heroes, cowards, madmen. All of them believed they were different. All of them were wrong. Now, your task is clear. You must hunt down the missing Lords of Cinder. Return their souls to their thrones, not through persuasion, but through combat. Only then can the fire be linked, or something else chosen instead. The first path leads to the kingdom of Lothric, a land built to create a perfect heir to the flame, a land that rejected destiny. As the shrine opens its way forward, you are sent to the high wall of Lothric, a city sealed from the world. Dragons sleep upon its towers, knights guard empty halls, and something ancient watches from the shadows. This is where the journey truly begins, not as a hero, but as Ash, walking toward the end of fire itself. Firelink Shrine stands behind you. The thrones await their lords, and Lothric waits to be uncovered. In the next part, we enter the high wall of Lothric and face the first signs of a kingdom that refused the flame. The cycle is breaking, and you are now part of it. Beyond Firelink Shrine and beyond the fading bonfire stands a kingdom built to defy the end of fire. Towering walls rise in silence, while hollow wind moves between broken stones. This is the high wall of Lothric, a place created not for conquest or glory, but for a single purpose. Lothric was built to produce a perfect heir, a prince who would one day link the fire and continue the cycle that had ruled the world for countless ages. From the moment Prince Lothric was born, his fate was sealed. Faith replaced childhood, and destiny replaced choice. He was raised not as a human, but as a vessel for sacrifice. Yet something went wrong. As time passed and the fire weakened, the prince began to see the truth of the cycle. He understood that linking the fire no longer saved the world, but only prolonged its suffering, and so he refused. As you walk along the high wall, the truth of Lothric reveals itself. This kingdom did not fall to invasion or war. It collapsed from within. Knights still roam the battlements, clad in heavy armor, moving with discipline and precision. Not because they believe in their duty, their loyalty remains, even though its meaning has long since faded. Above them, dragons lie motionless atop stone towers. Once symbols of eternity, they now rot in silence. These dragons are not guardians. They are warnings. Even ancient power decays when the fire no longer burns strongly enough to sustain the world. At the base of the high wall waits Vort of the Boreal Valley. Once a proud knight of the cold north, he now exists as little more than a beast bound by frost and obedience. Vort does not guard the path out of hatred or malice. He remains because loyalty is all he has left. When you defeat him, you are not slaying a villain. You are ending a tragedy that lingered far longer than it should have. With Vort fallen, the way forward opens. You raise the banner of Lothric, and for a brief moment the world responds. The winds carry you away from the high wall, not as a conqueror, but as a messenger of an unavoidable truth. Lothric has failed. The kingdom built to uphold the fire had rejected its destiny. The high wall fades into silence behind you. Its towers stand empty. Its knights wander without purpose, and its prince waits, defiant and unmoved. Ahead lies the undead settlement, a place where the curse spreads freely and humanity reveals its darkest shape. The fire continues to fade, and your journey, born from ash, has only just begun. You are carried away from the high wall of Lothric and set down in a land far removed from castles and kings. The air feels heavier here, thick with despair and decay. This is the undead settlement, a place where the curse has taken root completely and where humanity shows its most broken form. Once, this settlement was meant to contain the undead, a place where cursed humans could be gathered, isolated, and forgotten. But time has twisted its purpose. The people here are no longer simply cursed. They are abused, hunted, and burned, treated not as humans, but as fuel for fear. Cages hang from wooden structures filled with bodies that no longer scream. Pyres burn endlessly, not to cleanse the curse, but to hide it. The residents of the settlement believe that fire will protect them, even as it consumes what little humanity remains. This blind faith mirrors the world itself, clinging to the flame despite its cruelty. As you move deeper into the settlement, you encounter evangelists, twisted figures who preach salvation through suffering. Their words are false, but their belief is absolute. To them, pain is purification. This is what the cycle of fire has taught humanity. That suffering is necessary, that sacrifice is holy. Hidden among the ruined houses and broken streets are the workers of the settlement, transformed into hollow shells. They were once ordinary people, cursed and abandoned by the world above. Now they wander aimlessly, clinging to tools that once defined their lives, repeating meaningless motions long after purpose has vanished. Beneath the settlement lies a darker truth. The curse does not simply erase humanity, it distorts it. In the shadows, monstrosities roam, born from desperation and neglect. These creatures are not accidents. They are the result of a world that chose to ignore its own decay. At the heart of this misery waits the curse-rotted great wood. Once a sacred tree, it has become a grotesque vessel for the suffering of the undead. The curses of the settlement have pooled within it, swelling and mutating its form. When you face it, you are not fighting nature. You are confronting the physical manifestation of accumulated despair. With the great wood defeated, the settlement grows quieter, but not calmer. The silence that follows is not peace. It is exhaustion. There is nothing left here to save. Only ashes, memories, and echoes of suffering. Beyond the settlement, a new path opens, one that leads toward ancient knowledge and forbidden power, toward sorcery, sacrifice, and the remnants of a city that once challenged the gods themselves. The road of sacrifices awaits, and with it, the shadows of a forgotten war. The fire continues to fade. Humanity continues to suffer. And you move forward not to save the world, but to witness its final unraveling. Beyond the undead settlement, the land begins to change. The structures fade, the roads narrow, and the air grows thick with decay and sacrifice. This path is known as the Road of Sacrifices, a place where those deemed unworthy were once sent to die. It was not meant to be a battlefield, nor a prison. It was a silent answer to an inconvenient problem. The cursed were marched here, abandoned among the ruins, and forgotten. Time has twisted this place into something far worse. Bodies hang from broken scaffolds, offerings to a world that no longer listens. The ground is soaked with the remnants of failed rituals and desperate prayers. This road does not cleanse the curse. It feeds on it. As you move forward, the land sinks into darkness and water. The trees grow thick and ancient, swallowing the ruins beneath them. You have entered Farron Keep, a poisoned swamp that was once a proud stronghold. This place belonged to the Abyss Watchers. The Abyss Watchers were not kings, nor gods. They were warriors bound by a single purpose: to fight the abyss wherever it appeared, no matter the cost. Inspired by a legendary knight of an earlier age, they formed a legion that shared one soul. When one fought, all fought. When one fell, all felt the loss. But the abyss is not something that can be fought forever. Slowly, it seeped into Farron. It crept into the Watchers themselves. Brotherhood turned to paranoia. Unity turned to endless war. The abyss. Watchers began to see corruption in one another, and so they did what they had always done best. They fought. By the time you arrive, their battle has no purpose left. The Watchers rise again and again, killing one another endlessly, trapped in a cycle of violence they can no longer escape. This is what happens when duty outlives meaning. When you defeat the Abyss Watchers, you do not end their war. You merely silence it. Their flame is weak, fractured, and unstable, yet it is still powerful enough to claim a throne. They became Lords of Cinder not through triumph, but through failure. They linked the fire, not to save the world, but to stop the abyss from consuming it entirely. With their flame claimed, the path forward opens. The world shifts once more, pulling distant lands closer together as the fire continues to fade. The bell tolls again, not in hope, but in warning. Greater lords still remain, and the end draws nearer. Beyond Farron, the world twists once more. Ancient paths converge, and distant lands are pulled unnaturally close as the fire weakens its hold on reality. You are drawn toward a city bathed in cold moonlight, where beauty and decay exist side by side. This is Irithyll of the Boreal Valley, a place frozen in an endless night. Irithyll was once a city of quiet splendor, ruled not by kings, but by faith. Its streets were shaped by devotion, its people guided by promises of salvation. Yet beneath its serene surface, something far darker took root, a hunger that could never be satisfied. At the heart of Irithyll's corruption stands Aldrich. Once a holy man, Aldrich became obsessed with consumption. He devoured men, then souls, and eventually gods themselves. Linking the fire did not purify him. It transformed him into a Lord of Cinder whose dreams were filled with visions of an age of the deep, where the fire would be drowned forever. As Aldrich fed, the gods fled. Anor Londo, once radiant, fell silent beneath his shadow. When you face Aldrich, you are not stopping a conqueror. You are confronting the inevitable consequence of blind faith and unchecked devotion. With his fall, another throne is claimed, and another piece of the world's hope fades away. Far from the cold moon of Irithyll lies the profaned capital, buried beneath ash and ruin. This is the domain of Yhorm the Giant, a ruler who once sought to protect his people, only to watch them fear him instead. When the fire faded and chaos rose, Yhorm chose to link the flame, believing his sacrifice would save those he loved. It did not. His people perished, his city burned, and Yhorm was left alone, bound eternally to a duty that accomplished nothing. When you face him, there is no glory in victory, only the quiet end of a king who was too strong to belong anywhere else. With Aldrich and Ihorm defeated, the bells toll once more. The remaining thrones stand restless. The fire strains against its own weakness, pulling all things toward their conclusion. Only one Lord of Cinder remains beyond reach, the one who refused the flame not out of corruption or despair, but out of understanding. Prince Lothric waits. The end is close now. The world bends inward as all paths lead back to Lothric Castle. At its highest chamber wait Prince Lothric and his brother Lorien, bound by fire and blood. Lothric was born to link the flame, yet he refused, not from fear, but understanding. He saw that the cycle only prolonged suffering. Lorien, once a proud knight, sacrificed his strength to protect his brother, and together they defied fate. When they fall, the final truth is revealed. The lords were not villains, only weary. With their flames gathered, you are drawn to the kiln of the first flame, where the fire barely survives. At the end stands the soul of Cinder, the echo of all who linked the flame before. When it falls, the choice is yours. Link the fire and repeat the cycle, or let it fade and welcome a new age. The world ends not in victory, but in choice.